How are you guys doing today?
Good. How
So
are you?
good. You're gorgeous.
Yes.
Likewise,
Thank
likewise.
you.
All right, so I'm going to start with giving you guys your flowers. I've been a fan of both of you for some time now, and this film, while it was scary and kind of weird, it dealt with so many deeper issues that needs to be talked about. So bravo to you guys. So the first thing that I really felt about this film was the issue of colorism and European beauty standards that have been enforced on us, especially as Black women, from the start of time. I wanted to get you guys' opinions on that. How do we overcome this kind of dark cloud that's been holding over our heads, and all types of different cultures, really, that really stresses this European style of beauty is perfect? How do we overcome that, especially as Black women?
Well, I think it's important to continue to say that representation changes the world. It changes all of us. It changes how we perceive others and how we perceive ourselves. So it's important that we celebrate each other. And the more we're seen, like on big screens, small screens, and the more we see ourselves and each other, then those standards will start to change and we'll start to carve out new versions and new definitions of beauty. And I think this movie does that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really about continuing to change the narrative. I love seeing Black women, particularly brown-skinned women, being celebrated and being honored. And I think a lot of that narrative is being changed by the Black community, whether it be Beyonce doing a song called Brown Skin Girl, and obviously having the video be this beautiful, video telling the story of all these brown-skinned Black women, or whether it be, Justin Simien, casting Elle in the lead and letting people know that this is what a movie star can look like. Yeah. And I think it has to be intentional. I was very intentional with Queen and Slim. I think it was so fascinating to me that that was such a talking point, that they're like, oh, two leads, Black, both dark skinned. And I think that's because you don't see it. So I think but the onus, unfortunately, is on us to change the narrative. Is to show, the youth what beauty is. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job of that.
Yes, yeah. I would agree. And Elle, I could completely relate it with your character, just as a young emerging reporter who's been through it, who's been at the pop outlets, but they're not really about us. I totally understand what your character went through. But I wanted to ask both of you ladies, what would be the best advice you would give, especially for our women of color or women in general who are coming into a corporate setting, who have stereotypes that are put upon them, that have people looking at them because the way they may wear their hair, or, I know I've personally been told to take my braids out for certain shoots. So tell me how, especially for younger women, how do we overcome that in the corporate workplace? Because you ladies have both produced amazing films, TV, all type of things. So tell me a little bit about how you overcome that in the corporate setting.
Personally, my take is going to be from a personal standpoint. On my journey to find my own beauty within myself, I started to create a world around me with people who looked like me. Like the pictures that went up were pictures of Black women, were pictures of people in their natural hairstyle. So in a subliminal way, I was feeding myself information. And that unconsciously and consciously reminded me of who I am, what beauty looks like in my realm, and also the shoulders I get to stand on. I think when we celebrate each other and we celebrate the ones who've come before us, and we see the beauty in them intentionally, it starts to kind of grow out of us. Like it becomes a natural thing. So that's a little bit of a difficult question, but I think it has to start with a self journey. And then when you walk in that power, very few people are willing to try to take that away from you. If you're
so it starts with the self. I love that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think no matter what the setting, because I think I spent like a teensy amount of time in that corporate space. And obviously did not last very long, but I think, I was always myself, and even I had to work in my mom's office at one point. Your mom gives you a little job, and so it was very corporate. And so and then I was there like, as a receptionist, and even my mom was like, don't dress like this, in this setting. And because that's why I think the movie to me is so moving, because my mom is very much was like Elle's character, you know, got the weave, had the hair, did the whole thing, trying to conform. And she had a daughter that did the opposite. So I think sometimes it is, you know, it's generational. You know, she's born in 1953. I was born in 1984. You know, it always still boggles my mind that she was born into a segregated America. Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, that's something we're not used to dealing with.
Yeah, and so that's why a lot of times helping me to understand her and that generation, which is the one I think Justin is kind of this is really generation before. We were babies, we were kids, like we weren't even around. They had a lot more pressure on them, you know, and I think because they dealt with all that, then come myself, come Elle, come Justin, and we try to, you know, we don't want to, you know, then we also go from not raging against the machine, but going inside of it and dismantling it from within. And that's to me what bad hair is.
Definitely. So it's within the machine and within yourself. Ladies, thank you so much. That's my time to wrap. Thank you for all you do for the culture, for us as Black women. Keep killing it. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Sidnee.